Hi there, my name is Jasmine Light, and in this video I'd like to share with you some tips and tricks on how to stay safe and how to escape if you're experiencing domestic violence at home. Normally I teach couples massage, but this is an information video I've been wanting to record since a long time, and somehow I kept postponing it, trying to make my classes. But I saw an article yesterday. There is twice the amount of women right now killed in domestic violence cases than normally. So I really want to address all of you people out there who might be in a situation where you feel trapped, where you're scared of your own partner, the person you supposedly love, who supposedly loves you. I've been there myself, so I want to give you some tips that can hopefully help keep you safe. If you feel like your relationship, your situation at home is escalating towards a violent situation and you feel like you have time to prepare and escape, do so. Most murders that happen within a relationship happen at the time of breakup or shortly thereafter. So when I was a kid, you saw it in the paper, it was called temporary insanity. So this is the time when it's really best to be really out of harm's way till the dust settles a little bit. First of all, this is if you have time. Try to keep cool. Don't argue. Try to distract them with some fun things. According to this article, if you respond in an unpredictable way with humor, this will throw your abuser off guard. I'll tell you more about that later. Get some money together if you can, somehow, somewhere. Cash. Get a second phone with a different name. You don't want to be followed by your phone. So today there are tons of spyware and hackware and trackware. It's very possible your partner has access to some of these. Some of them are even in the dark net, where they can spy on you, see where you are, even send messages. And especially WhatsApp is very dangerous. They can hear you talking. They can use your camera and your microphone if they savvy a little bit and can set that all up. So you pack a small bag and hide it somewhere, just like a little carry-on bag or a bag you take to the gym with enough clothes and things. You want to pack some aluminum foil in that little suitcase. I'll tell you more about that later. And you want to pack a scarf, not the one that is very colorful that your partner knows about, just a normal generic scarf. It'll come in handy. You can wrap yourself up and not be noticeable or not be identifiable. There's a crazy situation right now. There's no restaurants you can run into and things like that. Where I ran that night that I ran out from my ex-husband, I didn't know where I was going when I ran out the door, and it was winter and I was in my pajamas. I went to the emergency room at the hospital. They hooked me up with a crisis center, and in the crisis center they helped with the rest. So if you have an emergency room nearby, a hospital nearby, that's one option you would have. You don't go anywhere that your partner knows, to anyone that your partner knows, excuse me. You don't go to your mother, you don't go to your sister, you don't go to your girlfriend, okay? They should have no idea where you are. Now, if you do end up going to the hospital right now, there's a bad situation going on with a lot of people are sick. If you're worried about that, pack some scarves in your bag that you can, protect your face with. Bring some Ziploc bags to put used scarves in. Bring a Ziploc bag to put your real telephone in. Do not bring your real telephone with you. Back to the aluminum foil. If you wrap up your cell phone really good, all sides, in aluminum foil, you will not be able to be called. Now, I can't swear on the Bible that this will keep your GPS and anyone from tracking you, but according to the research I've done, it will, and I did test it myself. I tried calling my phone and without the foil, and it was ringing. Then I wrapped it up in foil and I tried it again. No go. just said no connection, no signal. Even the police say it irritates them because they have a hard time tracking criminals because they're doing something like this, and criminals who have some kind of a ankle bracelet which has a GPS on it, they'll wrap it up in toilet paper, and aluminum foil, and then the police can't find them. So anyway, there you go. I just felt it's safer to not have your phone with you, my gut feeling. So don't take your phone with you if you're really in fear for your life from your partner. Just toss it somewhere in a Ziploc bag in a bush or whatever, and use your other phone once you're out. And that's also could be tricky too. So just be aware of that. Also, your car can be traced if you're able to get away in a car. A lot of cars now already have trackers in them, so just be aware of those points if you're trying to, not be found for a while. Maybe you might be watching this and you're fine, but you might have a friend who is in a scary situation. This is important, little things you can pass by them. Now, the next thing is, if you don't have time to get yourself ready and you find yourself in a very frightening situation at home, if you are in an apartment building, or if neighbors can hear you, you have to scream. That's a very helpful thing. These people who are feeling violent or acting violent, they don't want witnesses. So if you can attract attention to what's going on, that can be helpful to you. And if you just have to run at the last minute, you just have to run at the last minute. I had 2 moments where I ran. I did actually give that person a second chance, and then it came to the same thing again. And so one of those 2 times I really ran out without that suitcase, without that little carry-on bag, just ran out with like nothing. But anyway, so these are very important things. Don't think that there's nothing you can do. Don't feel trapped. The universe is telling me to tell you, take action. Sometime you might feel also like frozen, like they call it, the deer in the headlights. You got to put your feet on the ground and feel your body here. You tap your feet. You ask the universe to help you, to help keep you safe, to help you out of this. So that is the power of prayer that I also experienced during that terrible time in my life. And maybe you don't believe in that part, but the practical tips, feel free to use them. It can get way trickier if you have a child or a baby or more than one child in a house with a violent partner. Most people, I think, in their life, they see a situation building. You see a situation building. You do have alternatives, even right now in this crazy lockdown situation. Let your mind work and figure out your alternatives. If you have enough money for a hotel, a motel, that would be fine otherwise. So I hope this maybe can help somebody out there. And if it does, all the best to you. My situation happened 12 years ago, and I did get to the hospital. They did send me to the crisis center. They sent me to the police, and the police came and took that person out of my home. It was my apartment, and put him in prison for a while. And during that time I sold all my furniture and moved out without knowing where I was going. I was homeless for 2 months. I was sleeping on sofas of friends, and I did find out in that time who my friends really were, but I never knew when he would be getting out of prison, which was also a scary aspect. But I did survive. I did get very sick later, like with a total burnout illness that lasted for years. But as you see, I'm here today, I'm in this beautiful apartment. I can see the sky over there, can see the sky over there, all the way to the Alps, the Swiss Alps, and I can see the moon rising. I mean, you know, don't be afraid of running and slamming that door behind you. And as it was for me, it was a terrible, crazy time having no home at all. But in the end, there was, you know, somebody there who did pick me up and dust off and help me get back on my feet. And so there are also angels in this world walking on this earth. So I think I've said enough, and do take care, everybody. Do take care. Oh yeah, I want to back up all the way to the beginning of this. And if you have a partner who's getting very aggressive, but you're not, like, let's say you're not scared for your life and figuring out how to, like, get out of your home, like the things I was just talking about, there are ways you can defuse a situation. I'd like to tell a fun little story about an ex-boyfriend of mine. He was a magician. He still is, I guess. It was a long time ago. I think it was 1991. We were visiting New York City, and he wanted to take me to this special place where this guy was building magic props way out in Brooklyn somewhere. And this was at the end of the crack cocaine period in New York City, when it was a very dangerous city still. But we were like, oh, let's go out and see that magician prop builder. And we were coming back, then we had dinner, and then we were coming back, and we were in the East Village where all those crack and coke people were living at that time. And we were on the subway, and it was like empty subway, 11:30, 12 at night, weekend, and I'm with Marco, and these four guys get on. They're like so wigged out. Their eyes were like, eh, and they were like exploding with this aggressive kind of vibe. And I was just sitting there with my cute little sexy dress, like, oh shit. And my partner, he was bullied as a kid, so he kind of knows that energy. And we're both sitting there like on the subway, and these guys were like right across from us, like with their hoodies and Marco, he pulled out his deck of cards that he likes to practice his magic tricks with, and he started just making the cards disappear, you know, and flipping them around, you know, and, you know, he'd flip the card and fan them out, and he made it disappear, and he made it disappear behind his hand, you know how they like to do. And these four guys were like, I hope I don't look strange with my mouth hanging. They were like suddenly hypnotized or mesmerized. In magic, it's called misdirection, where you make somebody look over here while you're pulling out something over here or hiding something over here. And it distracts them out of their current state. Okay, I'm not saying learn magic tricks, but there are different techniques. There's a incredible thing called neuro-linguistic programming, NLP for short. You can tell jokes to your partner or show them something funny on the internet, you know, distract them out of their aggression. You know, there's a reason a lot of people are aggressive usually. There are some people who are, by their very nature, very aggressive beings, and these people you just can't help. You can't help. But if you got somebody who's like somewhere in between, these are just little tricks you can try when things are not so bad. But if you feel things getting bad, please go back to the beginning and make your plan and prepare to get out of there. You know, they might have had a terrible childhood making them weird the way they are, but at this point, you have to look for yourself, you know, because you can't help them anymore. You only can help yourself. So guys, girls, do take care, stay safe, stay well. And if you like this video, if you appreciate this video, please press the like button, press the subscribe button, and click the notification bell to be notified if I have a new video out. Thank you.